Well, good morning, Wolfpack. As we enter this third week of our e-learning, we also enter April, which for me is one of my favorite months because it is Poetry Month. And then with that comes our fifth annual poetry contest, which I'm super excited to bring you guys. I know it's going to be a little different this year, but I'll be honest with you, we turn it in this way anyway. We were going to do it this way anyway. So it's kind of like this is a norm for us. Okay. So here's how this is going to work. First off, all poetry is accepted. Okay. There are so many different forms out there. Poetry is anything that has a lyrical quality to it. We even at this point, I believe certain songs are, or actually most songs are considered poetry. And then we also have poetry that's been meant to be narrative. We have haikus, we have the ABC format, and then we have all kinds of poetry out there. But what you need to know is that poetry really needs to come from your heart, from your soul. It kind of comes from that area. Some of the most powerful poetry I've ever read is not the longest poetry. But it's something that comes from your heart. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking for. We're going to be looking for, okay, let's talk about rules first. 2020 poetry contest rules. First off, it must be original to you. It must be something that you wrote. It doesn't have to be something you just wrote. If you are a poet, then you probably build up poetry. And so it can definitely be something it's been built and it's something you've had for a while. Please don't make it, if you are already at Trent, please don't make it something that you have turned in before. We want to keep it new to this contest. How you're going to turn it in, and I'm going to show you this real quick, is that you have a form that you will turn in. Let me see if I can show it to you real quick. You'll start off by, it's super simple to do. All poems must be original. They all must be typed up and submitted digitally. That's the only way I can take them this year. Multiple poems may be turned in by one writer. You will just need to send them in individually. So it'll need to be multiple entries. You will need to submit each one. Sorry, I already said that. The ILA teachers will be the one voting, and all entries must be turned in by 4 o'clock on Friday, April 24th. There will be no late entries considered. Last year we had 3 winners, and they were fabulous. Again, one of the things about poetry is actually it has less words in it. I don't know if you guys have read some of the books in verse, the novels in verse. Kwame Alexander's a good one, K.A. Holt, Sonia Sones. They all write books in verse, and what that is, it's actually less words. So I really want you guys to consider doing this. I will tell you, rhyming is not something we look at. We look at the creativeness. I've had winners before that have had funny poems, but they're very creative. I've had very short poems win. I've had very long poems win. It's kind of in between. Last year we had 3 different winners. One of them was the most creative, one was the most heartfelt, and then the third one was just the best overall. And I always base my number of winners on how many entries there are. So this is where you'll go for the poetry contest. It's actually, I'm going to send the link out with this video. It's bit.ly/2020 Trent Poetry. And so that's all you have to type in. It's super simple to do. And then let's start seeing them. I might even read some of them over some of the videos. I'm also going to be having a web chat on Zoom this Tuesday to talk about it. If you have any questions, that way we can kind of get going on it. They can, even though I know Monday and Tuesday are technically March, it will be open as of right now. So please get those poems in. I'm so excited to read what you guys have to say. And you'll have a very interesting time period right now where you guys can pull from so much right now. I'm sure being in your houses all the time, with your families all the time, being kind of sequestered is going to kind of add to that. I don't know about y'all, but there's definitely a feeling of isolation in doing this, even with my family. So I'm so excited to see y'all's poetry. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I hope to see you guys soon. Have a wonderful day.